Live in 10 from Skywatch TV for January 7th, 2021. I'm Derek Gilbert. Topic number 5 today, it's over. President Trump has conceded and has assured that there will be an orderly transfer of power as Joe Biden will be inaugurated as the 46th President of the United States on January 20th. Millions of Americans will remember Wednesday as the first time in, well, many, many years that the United States Capitol building was successfully stormed and overrun. There's some who said it hasn't happened since 1814 when the British burned the White House. But to be fair, when the Brits stormed the Capitol, took D.C., they didn't stop to take selfies with Capitol Police. The way it's been reported by the major media, half the country is convinced today that there was a low-key coup attempt in Washington yesterday. That is not, in fact, the case. Those who were there protesting on behalf of President Trump were there trying to preserve the Constitution and adhere to the rule of law. Again, the media has chosen to portray it differently. And citing Wednesday's unrest as justification, Republican lawmakers basically abandoned their objections to the certification of Joe Biden and let the Electoral College tally stand as certified. Of the 52 people arrested in Washington yesterday, 47 were related to violations of the 6 p.m. curfew set by D.C. Mayor Muriel Bowser. 26 arrested on the Capitol grounds. Several others were arrested for carrying firearms either without a license or unlawfully. In addition, D.C. Police Chief said that 2 pipe bombs were recovered, one at the headquarters of the Republican National Committee, one at the DNC headquarters, and a cooler found in a vehicle on the Capitol grounds contained Molotov cocktails. Again, no connection or no positive proof that this is connected to Trump supporters, but that's how it's being portrayed by the media. Sadly, as the crowd pushed its way into the Capitol, a 14-year Air Force veteran was shot and mortally wounded by Capitol Police. This tragedy could have been prevented. I empathize with those who protested yesterday in Washington, D.C., but to be quite honest, storming the Capitol building itself was wrong. It was a bad idea. There was nothing that could, what could they have accomplished? Did they really think that somehow they were going to storm the floor of the House of Representatives and stop the theft of the presidential election? I'm sorry, it just was not going to happen. The show of force, the fact that hundreds of thousands of Americans turned out to show their support for President Trump and to demonstrate to the political class in Washington, D.C. that we in America are not fooled. We can see with our own eyes, despite the gaslighting that's been taking place over the last 2 months by the mainstream media, that this was not, as we've been told over and over again, the most free and honest and transparent election in American history. No, it wasn't. And we're not buying your line anymore. What has happened is this. Half of America is convinced there was a coup attempt yesterday, and the other half of us are convinced that the man taking office on January 20th is there illegitimately. Where does America go from here? I'm not sure. I'm not sure. If you look at history, powerful nations seem to have a lifespan of about 200 to 250 years before something radically changes. The Roman Republic became the Roman Empire. I would suggest that we are about at that phase where Julius Caesar handed off to Caesar Augustus. And anybody who's watching Joe Biden and his nominees for cabinet positions, it's pretty clear that what we're seeing is Obama 2.0. Joe Biden is merely a placeholder for the real power behind the throne. Now, in keeping with the media narrative that Trump supporters aren't proud Americans, but instead are crypto-fascists hoping to trample on democracy, Joe Biden, speaking from Delaware, said that the Capitol storming bordered on sedition, called the mob to pull back and allow the work of democracy to go forward. Well, again, it was not sedition. It was not a coup attempt. It was an attempt to prevent what is essentially a technological coup through the casting of millions of computer ballots. Muriel Bowser, Washington, D.C.'s mayor, has extended her emergency declaration for 15 days, which allows her to impose more restrictions on people's movement there. And the blue-checked commentators on Twitter immediately pointed a collective finger at Vladimir Putin, because, of course, it must be Putin behind all of this. And they're not stopping there. They're actually calling for more controls over what you and I can share on social media. New York Times immediately posted 2 new articles, op-ed pieces titled, "The Storming of Capitol Hill Was Organized on Social Media," and "Violence on Capitol Hill is a Day of Reckoning for Social Media." In other words, in order to preserve our freedom, we need to clamp down on your freedom. Control what we can share via social media. Events yesterday gave the political class in D.C. exactly what they wanted: justification to sweep aside any objections to the results of the November 4th election, and justification to impose new controls over freedom of speech and our freedom to associate with one another. Now, Mike Pence took a lot of heat yesterday for his decision to simply count the votes that were presented to him, the Electoral College votes, rather than sending dual slates of electors back to the contested states. But after reading his reasons for his decision in the letter that he sent to congressional leaders, based on the Constitution and the Supreme Court ruling in 1876 about that contested election, I agree with the Vice President. He did the right thing. It's not the thing that we wished he could have done, but according to the law, that was the right thing. Now, President Trump took to Twitter to slam Vice President Pence, and quite frankly, I lost some respect for President Trump yesterday. Yes, this is disappointing. No question. We would rather have a second Trump administration than a Biden administration, but there are a lot of things in this life that are disappointing, things that negatively affect our ability to live as free American citizens. But it's only discouraging. We only face despair when we take our eyes off of Jesus Christ. Like Peter on the Sea of Galilee, we only sink when we take our eyes off of what's truly important. Topic number 4. Israel hits Syria. Well, yeah, there were other things going on in the world yesterday. While the world's eyes were on Capitol Hill, Israel attacked Syria, hitting southern Damascus with a series of airstrikes Wednesday night. This is the 3rd such attack in the last 3 weeks. Israel long maintaining that these attacks are aimed mainly at Iranian troop installations and weapons smuggling operations connected to Hezbollah. Topic number 3, Vatican billions. Where's the currency, Francis? It's a pop culture reference to that attack on Dan Rather in New York City back in 1986. Remember, he was assaulted by a guy who kept saying over and over, "What's the frequency, Kenneth?" Anyway, where's the currency, Francis? The Vatican doesn't know. It's missing about $1.8 billion US in money that's been reportedly transferred to Australia. The Australian government tracking money transfers from the Vatican. Over the last 6 years, they've logged thousands of transfers totaling $1.8 billion US. A senior Vatican official told the Reuters news agency they don't know anything about it. He said, "What's more, we don't have that kind of money." Really? Well, Archbishop Mark Coleridge of Brisbane, on behalf of the Australian Church, said he doesn't know anything about it either. The Vatican official also said it sent less than $1 million US to Australia since 2014. Where's the rest? But that leads to topic number 2. If you think that's bad, the United States missing about $36 billion just in the last 12 months in fraudulent stimulus payments. As Uncle Sam keeps sending out more and more helicopter money, justified by the coronavirus, federal legislation enormously increased weekly payouts and expanded unemployment benefits to many new classes of workers over the last year, with little in the way of verification or qualification requirements. Well, this welfare expansion just reauthorized in the recent CARES Act, which Congress passed in mid-December, but lawmakers did nothing to address the runaway fraud. $36 billion, according to the Department of Labor. $36 billion with a B lost to fraud. To put that into context, the entire unemployment system only paid out $29 billion, $26 billion in all of 2019. In 2020, $36 billion lost to fraud alone. Coming up, quite possibly the most disgusting children's television program in history. I'll tell you about it next on 5 and 10.
We are living in the most prophetic timeline of our lifetime, and we want you to be prepared for the days ahead. Skywatch TV is proud to announce the largest giveaway of the year, the Messenger Grand Giveaway. When you order Dr. Thomas Horn's new book, The Messenger, from the Skywatch TV store, you'll also receive the brand new 2-disc DVD collection, The Final Countdown, featuring Dr. Thomas Horn. Sit down one-on-one with Dr. Horn as he details the vision God gave him about the coming messenger, the Apophis asteroid headed toward Earth as we speak, and the Revelation 8 destruction that is starting its final countdown at this very moment. Plus his mind-boggling revelations of the Vatican's secret plan for an alien savior, and the evil gene and Lucifer effect. Also included on Disc 2, Allie Henson and Donna Howell's Stand 2020 conference presentations on the hidden meaning behind the biblical feast connected to the first Advent and Second Coming of Jesus Christ. You'll also receive multi-time best-selling author Terry James' brand new book, Lawless. Learn what's behind today's geopolitical, cultural, and societal upheaval tearing at the heart of America, and how the church can and should respond while there's time. But we're just getting started. You'll also receive the new Best of Defender Publishing ebook collection on data disc. Now, for the first time ever, this must-have assortment features 100 of the most information-packed best-selling books in Defender history. These full-length works are in popular ebook formats so that you can read them on Kindle, EPUB, PDF, and other handheld electronic devices. Give this collection as the ultimate gift to somebody you know this holiday season, or take them with you wherever you go. Valued at over $1,000 all by itself. But that's not all. With the holidays just around the corner, now's your chance to save big and receive a massive collection of merchandise. Also included in the Messenger Grand Giveaway is a gargantuan supply of surprise, super quality books on prophecy, discovery, and the supernatural. DVDs, audio sets, survival and organic living books to add to your library or to give away as gifts this holiday season. Sold separately, these items hold a retail value of over $1,200. Yours now for your donation of only $35 plus shipping and handling. This is the largest giveaway of the year, just in time for the holiday gift-giving season, and it's available only while supplies last, so don't delay. The Messenger Grand Giveaway, available now at skywatchtvstore.com. Order now or call 1-844-750-4985.
Item number 1 today, children's television in Denmark. Danish television station DR, which is sort of like Denmark's version of the BBC, has launched a new program aimed at 4 to 8-year-olds. It premiered this past Saturday. This program features a man with a physical deformity, I guess. Give you an idea of what we're talking about here. Diller in Danish is slang for a man's reproductive organ. In this program, besides being of unusual size, it also has a mind of its own. And apparently, according to the creators of the program, this is funny. Children will find this funny. And so it's okay to produce a program about this topic for 4 to 8-year-olds. Well, what's even more bizarre than the fact that this program was approved for broadcast is that people reportedly aren't upset because this is entirely perverted to feature this kind of thing in children's programming, or because this is literally the kind of program that a pedophile would create to groom children. No, they're upset, according to The Guardian, because of the hashtag #MeToo implications of featuring a character who literally can't control his thing. And what's even worse, a gender researcher at Roskilde University was mostly worried about the patriarchal implications of this show. It's perpetuating the standard idea of a patriarchal society and normalizing locker room culture. Apparently, it is possible to have the right reaction to a program for completely the wrong reason. Come quickly, Lord Jesus. Well, a couple of things to tell you about. First, the Warriors Conference, scheduled for next weekend in San Diego, has been rescheduled. State of California's guidelines and restrictions on travel because of COVID-19. And, you know, if lockdowns actually worked, why is California having such a bad time with the outbreak right now compared to states that aren't locked down? Just asking for a friend. Anyway, here the Watchman, because of the state of California, compelled to move the Warriors Conference back to September. The new date's September 16th through 20th of 2021. This decision just made this morning, so they waited until the last possible minute, but we will go forward with the conference. Hopefully by fall there will be some return to normalcy as far as our ability to move about the country. You can find out more at hearthewatchmen.com. Mike Kerr and Jeannie Moore tell me that they're working on a virtual conference for the spring in lieu of the Warriors Conference. Now, their planned conference for Dallas in March is still on at this point. You can find a complete list of scheduled events that include us from Skywatch TV at skywatchtv.com. You'll find it in the top menu bar. Now, there is a virtual conference to tell you about coming up in just a month, February 5th and 6th. Pastor Paul Begley is putting this on, the Virus, Vaccines, Victims, and Victory Virtual Conference. 5 V's there, but of course the important one is victory. Sharon and I will both be putting together presentations for this conference. Other speakers to be announced, but Pastor Paul Begley is the one putting this together, and you can find out more at his website, paulbegleyprophecy.com. That's paulbegleyprophecy.com. Now, something to tell you about. We've had a number of viewers report that our Skywatch TV app on Roku has stopped working. It shows that there's a problem with it. We have finally been able to replicate the program here at Skywatch TV on the one device we have that's kind of old. It's a Roku 2, and the Roku 2 was rolled out by Roku in 2011, so almost 10 years ago now. Apparently, the older Roku devices are beginning to fall into obsolescence. The newer channels are no longer functional on the older Roku devices. The good news is that the newest Roku devices, the basic Roku stick, you can find them some places for as cheap as $20. So if you've got an old Roku 2 and you've got a problem with the Skywatch TV channel, the app, it might be time to upgrade your Roku, because the newer Roku devices have no problem with the channel. We've got 3 other Roku devices around here that it's working fine, but the oldest one now seems to be on the verge of obsolescence. So you want to make sure that you check it out, though, because this week's program features a discussion of Tom Horn's book, The Messenger. It is week 6 of this. And again, each one of these 6 programs has just been absolutely mind-blowing in terms of the connections that we have researched between important dates in Jewish feast calendars, in pagan celebrations, in biblical events, and even, well, events that are being pushed by technocratic globalists right now. I'm talking about the Great Reset. Sharon K. Gilbert, my best friend, brought this out in the chapter she contributed to the book, The Messenger. You'll find that discussion on our broadcast schedule, which is posted at skywatchtv.com/channels, or if you've got the Skywatch TV app for Roku, Apple TV, or Amazon Fire TV, you can watch the program right now just by clicking your remote, or download the free Skywatch TV mobile app. It's good for iOS and Android devices or Amazon Kindle Fire tablets, and we'll broadcast on your schedule right in the palm of your hand. Not only that, you get the current calendar of upcoming events featuring Skywatch TV personalities and the news the mainstream media wants you to miss. We got links to the app stores for the free mobile app posted at skywatchtv.com. My books, my new novel, The God Conspiracy, it's like there are people out there trying to make the plot elements come to life. Forced vaccinations, detainment of people who don't want to be treated. The New York State Assembly voting on that proposed law in the Senate, their Senate there today as we record this. But both of these novels available now. You'll find the link at my Amazon author page. If you're a subscriber to Amazon's Kindle Unlimited program, both available at no cost to you. So please take advantage of that. You'll find the rest of the stuff we post to the internet, including the weekly Bible study that Sharon and I produce, the Gilbert House Fellowship at gilberthouse.org. Thank you for watching as we keep watch. I'm Derek Gilbert, and this is 5 in 10 from Skywatch TV.